Hey guys, it's me Lex here. Just a quick disclaimer before we begin. This is a tea video. There will be spoilers for things that are discussed through episode 11 of the show. So if you are not caught up through episode 11, I don't recommend watching this. Anyways, let's strap in and let's spill some tea. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex and I would absolutely love it if you would support me, support the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Really helps to get the videos out there, lets me know you like the content, it pushes it out further. Today we have another little tea video roundup. This is going to be a little more stuff that I've just been seeing online. I really like putting these together. So we have Alex. Alex did an interview with Vulture where she does talk more about what happened with Tim. She goes a little more in depth about things. Did she give that bracelet back? Stay tuned. We also have a commentary about Nick and a little update on his living situation. Hannah did an interview with the Vial Files, so we'll put a clip of that. And last but not least, Alex has been on her Instagram being a little cryptic. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. And yeah. Okay, so I want to jump right into this Vulture article because Alex, I feel like she spilled some tea in this article, so let's just jump on into it. We're going to go through the questions. I'll put this here, and I will put a link in the description if you want to read the article yourself. So, this first question says, what was going through your mind when Tim sat you down for that breakup conversation? It didn't seem like you were expecting it. You had your food. She says, I was so hungry and that food was good too. I thought we were going into a discussion about what this whole week has been. And I already discussed this more in the last video. She thought that they were going to talk because they were going to go out for Halloween, and she just thought they were going to talk about the week. So she had no clue that this was coming. So next question, the question we all want to know. Did he ask you to return his sister's bracelet? He says, yes. She says, yes, he did. Literally, as soon as it was over, he did it on camera. They just unfortunately did not show it. But he literally got up and was like, oh, and by the way, I need my bracelet back. It definitely felt like a punch to the gut. Yikes. Yikes. Okay. Next question is, he was upset that you took a nap after meeting his parents. Can you say more about what happened after the cameras cut with them? Did you say goodbye to his parents or tell Tim you were taking a nap? She says, yeah, I was with his family all day. We both were, and we even had lunch. It was a really great day. I was just exhausted and had somewhere to be later on that evening. The day before being with my family, it was very emotional, and I went to dinner with him after that. We were out pretty late that night. Then meeting his family, I was with them for a significant amount of time. You want to be present and engaging, so it's a lot of energy. One thing that was left out is that Tim actually went to the store. So I went to take a nap and his parents were downstairs watching TV. They had driven 10 hours the day before, so they weren't just in and out. They were going to be there for a few days. I told them, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you. I will see you tomorrow. I do have somewhere to be, but before I go, I'm just going to take a quick nap before I get on the road. That was a conversation. They were not upset. And again, I felt the same way where I felt like this was not something that Tim's parents said and then he kind of related to her. It really did come off that Tim was trying to nitpick any little thing to just end it with her. And as I've stated, because I feel like some of y'all still don't listen, I don't care about the fact that Tim didn't want to be with Alex. I've already critiqued Alex's personality, her attitude. It didn't even seem like she liked the guy like that, like based off of her attitude in the earlier episodes. But nonetheless, the way this man approached this situation was just downright slimy. Like, I'm sorry, but it speaks a lot about his character, the way that he approached this all, and that for me was the biggest problem. So, the next question says, I've seen some criticism of the way you hugged his parents with one arm. Do you feel like people were reading your body language wrong? She said, no, I definitely was not in the best mood and it had nothing to do with them. Specifically, it was the fact that you saw Tim read the letter to my father and it was very emotional. After that, me and him had a discussion and he was expressing that he was still on the fence with some things. And I didn't feel comfortable bringing more family members into our union if we weren't going to follow through with it. I knew if he were to say no or I were to say no, it would have already hurt my dad because he went through that. So I didn't want to do that with his family. And I didn't have any clarity on where we stood at that moment moment, so it was uncomfortable for me. Again, another thing I mentioned where I was like, we only see so little of it, where it's like, I'm assuming behind the scenes there was so much conversation going on. And at least to me, it does kind of make sense where it's like, you went out of your way to read this letter, ask for her father's hand in marriage, but you're still saying, oh, I don't know if I'm 100% solid. I just, ugh. So this says, how did you break the news to your dad when the engagement ended? She said, I called him first, and then I went to his house the next day and I told him everything. He was angry, but also kind of sad. You know, we were really excited. He had told a lot of the family members and said, okay, we need to make sure it's this day. And then it's just like, hey, this isn't actually happening at all. He was pretty upset. That's the part that gets me, because I feel like everything else is debatable. The text message situation, the plate situation. But I feel like there is no denying that him going to her father and then just doing that a day later, I don't know. They talk about her father's mobility and if he was going to walk down the aisle. Okay, so Tim said on social media that he has tried to keep disagreements off camera. Was that a mutual decision, or were there times you actually wanted viewers to see more context? She said, it's been unfortunate to see a lot of things Tim has been posting over the last 24 hours, but it wasn't a mutual decision. That was his own decision. Tim was very, very strategic on what he talked about in front of the camera, and I allowed that because if he doesn't want to share something, he doesn't have to. But I will say, if something bothered him, he would not address it until after we got off camera. And sometimes it would turn into an argument because when you come from two different worlds, you might take something a different way, and now we're just trying to understand each other. That was one of the things we were not compatible with, was him understanding that there are two people in this relationship. It's not just your way or the highway or your opinion that matters, it's both. The next question is there a specific moment that happened off camera that you wish was shown? She said, I think to physically see how he would shut down would be nice. When we met his parents, his mother mentioned it briefly, how she is also the same way whenever she is in a mood or whatnot. She was shut down, and he got that trait from her. But a lot of times our disagreements would be him just speaking and not really caring about my opinion or thoughts. It was literally just him. We both like to talk things out. Unfortunately, Tim just talks so you can understand him, not so he can understand your side. Ooh. All right. Tim suggested on social media that he was being manipulated and that the relationship was toxic, that you put in no effort. Do you have any response? Well, first of all, that is not true. The text messages he's posting aren't really giving too much context. He has to put a lot of, I guess, notes on it to try to manipulate it. I didn't call him at 5 a.m. It was like 2 a.m. And yeah, I called him to come get me. Who else am I going to call? You're my fiance. I just didn't understand what point he was trying to prove. I feel like he's just having a moment because now he's starting to receive hate. I said this. I said this. It's like you got hate on the show and your response was to try to expose Alex rather than being like, yeah, maybe the way I came off on camera wasn't the right way. I still stand by what I did, but I do recognize that it looks a certain way, blah, 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 blah. Like his first response was to try to expose her. And if y'all don't feel like that has some, like shows so much about his character, I don't know what to tell y'all. That's concerning to me. I'm going to be honest. And it's unfortunate because this is a really harsh world and to receive any type of hate can be intense. However, I think the way he's handling it is not helping. And personal text messages, not that any really big information was sent, but I thought that was inappropriate. That was his choice. This says, because we didn't get to see that first big fight in Mexico, there's been a lot of confusion and speculation about how bad it was. Tim said you called him out of his name. Do you remember specifically what you said? She said, I just know I said something that wasn't the nicest. Okay, it says, other than when you covered his mouth, did the argument get physical at any point? She said it actually wasn't physical at all. It wasn't that I physically covered his mouth. It was kind of like a motion just to de-escalate the situation. Girl, what you mean emotion now, Alex? Oh, come on, Alex. I've been on your side, but baby, everybody's been saying that you put, like you even say yourself that you put your hand on his mouth. So don't change it now, girl. Don't change it now. I was trying to calm him down because sometimes people aren't aware of their tone. She was saying, I was trying to de-escalate the situation so he would understand that his voice was turning into yelling. I was really just trying to make him aware that it was increasing. Okay, people thought you put your hands on him. And she said, yes, they've turned it into being physical, that I hit him and whatnot. It was never a physical altercation or fight. It was just a verbal disagreement. And then lastly, and like I said, I did skip some of the questions, so if you want to read the full thing, I'll put the link in the bio here, or in the description box, sorry. It says, and you guys haven't had any direct communication since? She said, no, I do not talk to him at all. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like a lot of the speculation, a lot of the you're so biased, I don't know. I feel like a lot of it was clarified here. And as I stated before, I think Alex has her set of issues. I think Tim has his set of issues. But at the end of the day, you don't see Alex on social media blasting Tim, whereas you see Tim blasting her. This is not people just looking for reasons to dislike Tim. It's his behavior. It's his behavior because, as I stated, Tim may have potentially been onto something originally, but it's the fact that when he started getting hate from the show, his response was, let me go online and try to make her look terrible, rather than maybe either taking it on the chin like a man or realizing and recognizing, hey, maybe my behavior on camera was kind of crazy. Shit, I feel like even if he had went down the, well, it's manipulated, it's produced a lot, you guys didn't see everything, I feel like that would have been better than what he tried to do, which was making her look bad. Because we have not seen Alex go on anything except for these interviews. And even in these interviews, I feel like she still keeps it pretty light and pretty PG. So I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. So that's all we have really on the Alex situation. Alex did post this TikTok that I'll insert here. She's being...
I don't want to say I'm anti-man, but yeah, I'm kind of anti-man. I'm open though. If God would bring the right one around, I would act right, but...
a little cryptic on her TikTok, but I think it's needless to say that Alex is definitely not happy. So we also have a little Nick and Hannah news. So Nick, first off, decided to talk with TMZ before the episodes even dropped, I'm pretty sure. And he decided to give us a little update on his current living situation.
Big plot point is that you live with your parents, right?
Right. As of this year, I bought my own place in Tyson's Corner. So, you know, I was just living on my parents to save up money, be financially responsible, and, you know, I'm in a good spot now, man.
So anyway, Nick, you know, as we obviously know, Hannah dragged Nick to all oblivion on the last episode. Nick seems to have been making some strides. And the thing with Nick is, like, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like Nick is somebody where, yes, I did to some level agree where Hannah was coming from, but I just think Hannah is such a mean person. I think Hannah is a person who picks out all of your flaws and puts them on Front Street to try to make you look bad. And I feel like instead of having adult conversations, Hannah, the one thing about Hannah that I think is the worst is that she presents herself as perfect. She will literally flat out say, I am perfect. And it's like, girl, no, you're not. You're not. And there's no reason that you should be acting like this because, baby, you don't have it like that where you can be treating somebody else like that. But anyways, Nick has made some strides, okay? He wants y'all to know that he is making strides now. Hannah also went on the Vial Files podcast and she describes that she apologized to Nick, supposedly.
I'm just an honest person, guys. I promise. I'm just a truth teller. And I just need to be kinder.
Okay.
And I know that. So I will keep telling the truth, but in a better way.
Have you apologized to Nick for your delivery?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And I've apologized to Nick back then too.
Okay.
But now watching it, yes, for sure.
Okay.
I'm sorry for being such a raging bitch, but I'm working on it.
You
were fine.
Well, this haircut.
Now, all I have to say about this little clip, and I didn't watch the full interview because y'all know I don't watch the Vial Files. I can't watch Nick Vial. But this clips and the few clips I've seen of this interview, it seems like Hannah's body language and behavior is still rude. You're talking about how you apologize to the guy, and you're like rolling your eyes. Like, Hannah is so full of herself and thinks she's so above this man. It's really, really sad. But anyways, a shorter roundup today, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming to my channel, watching my Love is Blind videos. As I said, I love hearing your opinions. If you don't agree with me, as long as you're respectful, I like reading them. On my Tim video yesterday, some of y'all did not agree with some of my takes, and I enjoyed reading your takes because it did allow me to see like, hey, people look at it from this perspective. So I love having the conversation. We could chat in the comments about everything. Let me know what you think. But thank you. If you made it to this point of the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, share, comment, and subscribe. Helps to get the videos out there. It inspires me to keep creating. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!